From Latrobe Motorsports Studios, this is Ride Along with Howie from the fast half-mile track at Latrobe Speedway, where it's grassroots racing at its finest. Here's Howie.
Race fans, you know what time it is? It's time for Ride Along with Howie, sponsored by S&B Promotions and Joe's Body Shop and Towing. And tonight, we're going to give a preview of this upcoming Saturday's Jesse Sterbutzel $10,000 to win crate late model feature. Right now, I'm being joined by Jennifer Sterbutzel and her son Josh, and the promoter of Latrobe Speedway, Dennis Bates. Welcome to Ride Along, everyone.
Hi.
So, first, I want to tell the Sturbutzels, I know I'm late, but I'm very sorry for your loss. Jess was a great man, and you know what? I know he's smiling down because I looked at the weather, and it is perfect for this week. And, you know, everything that Jess did, he always wanted it to be perfect, whether it be his fire suit fit, the look of the car, it always had to be perfect. And you know what? We got a great day to go race in honor of Jess. And right now we're going to talk to Jennifer and Josh. And Jennifer, I remember back when Jess used to race in the semi-lates up in the dirt. He had some success. He picked up some heat rate wins down at Interstate Speedway, Challenger Speedway, down in Pittsburgh. And that's about the time I met you and Jess. Remember coming out to where the cars were, and they were out at a funeral home. And Jess used to always tell me, I guess your family was in the funeral home business?
Yes.
And the cars were out there for some reason. And he says, you know, if they don't do good, I just point to the Hertz and tell them they're going to be riding in that. And he said, normally we go out and win a heat or something the next race. He had a heck of a sense of humor. And you know what? He was always happy and smiling. And that's what I'm going to remember about Jess. And unfortunately, we lost Jess. And you and Dennis and everybody came up with this idea to do the memorial race in honor of Jess because of his love for circle track racing. And here we are this upcoming Saturday. Like I said, $10,000. And that just goes to show, you know, one of the big sponsors of that is Howard Concrete Pumping. And that's where Jess was employed for over 20 years. And they wanted to be involved in the memorial for Jess. He was such a valued employee.
Yes.
And what do you remember most, Jennifer, about going to the races with Jess?
Well, he would take his whole week's pay and blow it all in one night on tires and fuel and pit pat. He would buy everybody's way into the pits, whoever came to help, and that's where his paycheck went. And we lived week by week with racing. I supported the house and he supported his racing. Well, he actually had taken 2 years off from work at one point just to race. And then after that, exhausting those funds, he had to go back to work. So then it was week by week we raced.
And I remember Jess teamed up with Chester Retta, and they came over to the asphalt. That lasted for maybe a year or two. And then Jess wanted to do it on his own, and you and Jess bought it, had an asphalt car built, and that was the Caddyshack number 40 car.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just remember Jess calling me one night, and he's like, you know, listen, Jennifer and I are, you know, we're expecting our first child, which was Josh. He says, you know, she's making me go back to work. I remember him telling me that, and he says, you got to get rid of this race car. And he said, I know you can do it. And it was like the first car I ever sold was your asphalt late model to Frank Howard.
Yes.
And Frank was so impressed with Jess, he bought the car and offered him a job.
Yes. Yep.
So Jess always called me his HR department. He said, if I ever need another job, I'm going to call you.
Yep. If we didn't know who Frank Howard was, here he was one special human being.
Yeah,
so.
Very important person in the life of Jesse Sterbutzel and in his family.
Absolutely. He treated us as his own. So.
And unfortunately, we lost Jess last year, but Jess loved dirt track racing. And
yes, he did.
I just remember, he would always be out there in a very clean, professional looking car. And I remember, I think we might have lost Dennis.
He's back.
He's back. Okay.
Where he looks to be, yes.
And I remember when we lost Jess, we wanted to do something in his honor. And the family came up with the idea of this race for Jess. And a lot of it was revolving, the original concept was revolving around the number 40, which was Jesse's number that he ran predominantly on his cars. I remember talking to Josh, where did the 40 come from? Well, the first car he bought was 46. It was easy to make that 6 into a 0, and that's where we believe the 40 came from. But when we talked originally about the race, it was going to be 40 laps, $4,040 to win. You said, you know what? This is Jess. And Jess didn't do anything small. We're going to go big, large. And I said, okay, what do you have in mind? And you said, let's go 10,000. And you and the family and Dennis based at SMB Promotion came up and you got a guaranteed perk. And, how does it feel knowing that in just a few days we're going to be having a race in honor of Jess? And that question is also for you too, Dennis. From your side, what did it take to be able to put on the first annual Jesse Sterbutzel Memorial?
Well, first off, it was nice whenever you first mentioned this to me, and then I got to meet the Sterbutzel family and Jennifer. They are a very, very welcoming, wonderful family. It was nice. Jennifer's very organized. And as we started kind of dredging through this, starting small with some basic ideas, and then Jennifer took the bull by the horns and went after the getting the sponsorships all in line and the different levels and the contracts and there's a lot involved in putting together a memorial race. And Jennifer has done an absolute phenomenal job getting through this. And I know she's very excited about seeing the payoff on Saturday. It's been a very, very exciting journey as we've been working through this.
Now, one thing you mentioned, Dennis, you mentioned taking the bull by the horns. Was that a reference to young Josh with his passion for competition in the bull riding, or
Absolutely, and the barrel racing, and yes, they have horses as well.
And Josh, I don't know. I mean, obviously, what all your dad gave up when he found out he loved racing as much as he loved your mother. And then he found out that he was going to be a dad. For him to quit cold turkey racing, and he stayed away from it for so long because he wanted to be the perfect dad to you and your sister Danica. And I know you got shortchanged in the years, but I know, everybody wants their dad to be there for 100 years. And unfortunately, you were about 19, 20 when you lost Jess, but that man just would give the shirt off his back to anybody. And I know you are the same way, and your sister and your mom. And, your dad got worried. A lot of sons will want to follow in their dad's footsteps. And I remember talking to your dad a couple of years ago, and I said, he called me. He wanted some information on some racing stuff. And I said, Josh on a race. And he's like, bite your tongue. Josh is riding bulls. And I'm like, so you let him ride a bull, but you don't want to put a roll cage around him. He's like, bulls are cheaper than race cars. You'll learn this out. I said, okay, I'll take your word for it. But I know he would always just talk with pride about you and your bull riding and dancing on barrel racing on the horses and the stuff your mom was doing. And he would always tell me, he goes, he might not be into the cars, but my kid's pretty damn cool.
Yeah. Well, he kind of took, I think, his racing aspect for cars, and he definitely turned it into horses because he was full ahead with horses. That's all for when we were barrel racing. That's all he cared about was being competitive with that.
Very competitive. He didn't want to be second. He said, if you're not first, you're last.
There was times where we were sort of thinking about like spending too much money with horses and stuff. And he would bring up cars, and he was like, at least we still have a horse after.
Yeah. I got to ask, did your dad have custom suits for the rodeo and a custom cowboy hat?
He didn't, but he made sure to bling me out with it.
Yeah. Buckles,
chaps, vests.
Yeah.
Usually, you buy black. I have white stuff.
He still looked very nice. I always called Jesse a label whore because he always had to dress to the occasion. And I could be in like rags, but he would look really good. And whoever else he was preparing always looked very good. So,
I would like to always tease your dad. Every time I saw him, I always very clean, crisp, almost looked like a new fire suit. I'm like, they're reusable, right, Jess? And he goes, yeah, but when you're this good looking, you're going to protect yourself, Howie.
We bought I got my first bull riding helmet, which I still use. It's done
custom
by Flinner.
Designed by
custom
Flinner. Yeah, he always had to stand out and make something really special, so it was snowmobiling. We would snowmobile, and I tell you, he would buy the outfits that he would be going just snowmobiling in were always top notch. Custom with this. Yeah. Oh yeah. So.
And Jess always said, if you're going to do good, you got to look good. And even if we don't good, we're still going to look good. But he said, I'm naturally good looking, Howie. I got to worry about the rest of them. But that was just Jess. And like I said, man, God, I miss that guy. And, I'm glad that we are able to have this great tribute to him this week. And Dennis, we were talking, and, the list of drivers that we got confirmed, we got a confirmation today that one of the top super late model drivers who runs on the Lucas Oil late model series is coming to your husband's memorial race for a chance to represent what Jess was about. Mason Ziegler, he is going to come, and he got to deal with Joe Zaleski. He's going to prepare that car. I also know that Kyle Lucon, he picked up, he's a former Fast Track Weekly Racing Series champion. He is coming. He's also the gentleman who picked up the Rick Frazee Memorial last year for $5,000. Just a lot of great drivers who are coming, and they're not coming because of the race. They're coming out of respect of who the race is for. Super late model drivers. Michael Norris, a winner on the World of Outlaws series. He's bringing his super. I wouldn't be surprised to see Colton Flinner, the Port Royal Speedway champion, coming. They called today to check on the parking, and you know what? It's going to be a heck of a party and a celebration of life for Jesse. And Josh, just out of curiosity, have you ever given any thought to wanting to get behind the wheel of a race car? Or?
Yeah, me and my dad, behind her back, mostly thought about it. We went and we looked at a few like some crate asphalt cars to buy. Okay. That would be cheaper to getting into racing. That was about 2 or 3 years ago, but nothing ever really stuck.
Right about when he gotten sick. Yeah. So kind of stalled a lot of things.
We always rode dirt bikes, though, more or less. We would race together with dirt bikes.
And I'm sure he probably had custom riding suits. And
absolutely.
Yeah. He got his name put on the back, everything.
Dennis, are you still here?
I don't believe he
Well,
is.
no. Okay. Well, hopefully Dennis will join us back.
Right.
One
Now,
thing-
Jesse will be really excited knowing, though, that all of these men are coming, all these guys, in honor of him. That would be, he's just going to be so excited. And he was good friends with Doug Horton. Doug was in our wedding.
He like
That's
Mason,
who got his first
Mason
race car.
Ziegler, he always really liked
he was always
Mason.
up.
What's that?
Doug is who Jesse got his first race car from.
Yes. And then he was in our wedding. Like I said, they've been good friends ever since. So that was back in 1993, I believe, or 4.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
What year were you born, Howie? I don't even know. Were you even born then?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, you were. Okay.
I'm probably older than you. I was born in 73.
Oh, I know. I'm older than you. So we're okay.
Okay. Well, sorry, Mrs.
I didn't know. I thought you were a lot younger. Okay. So,
I just have
anyways,
age
but
12.
he would be really excited, and his nephew Zach Herring will be racing, and he really, really, really was a big supporter of Zach when Zach decided to start racing. Jesse was so excited, and he spent every moment that he had, if he wasn't working, on the phone, finding motors, finding car parts, finding new cars. He just every minute was spent trying to help Zach get started into the racing. So
that was sort of the last year and a half, 2 of his life, and it was
that kept
a sad
him going.
time. And you would see him then going out late at night to go help Zach with the car and stuff, and it kept
Even
him
when
moving.
he didn't feel well.
Even when he wasn't feeling well or something.
Where normal people would go and lay and want to sleep, he was gone. So,
have you been to a race since we lost Jennifer?
No, I have not.
It's cool when you look at all the companies that stepped up and wanted to be a part of it. One of the companies was Flinter Signs and Decals, and I actually talked to John, which is a miracle. Anybody really knows John. And we actually invited him, and don't be surprised if John does make an appearance up there. And, it's just, I don't know. I never realized Ron Slavic and your husband were really good friends too. Mm-hmm. And we're going to have a banner, and on that banner is a picture of Ron and Jesse together, and they're together up in heaven as we lost Ron too. And
you were talking about John Flinter coming, so that's going to be entertainment itself, I think.
If John comes, I would love to put him on the mic for let him announce the race. That would definitely be interesting. But just everything that's going into this. Why don't you go ahead, Jennifer, and let's talk about all the companies that stepped up, including Howard Concrete Pumping, Flinter Signs and Decals, to help make this race possible. And if you need, I do have a list that I can send you.
Well, I was amazed by the amount of support that we did receive. We always knew, Howard always said that they would be one of the top ones to support a race if we did decide to do that. That was one of our first conversations, not even a week after Jesse had passed away. But also MAG Trucking or MAG Trucking is Matt Brown. That's Jesse's best friend. They've been childhood friends, grew up together. And so those two together were one of the two bigger monetary supporters. But there were also people that I didn't even know that really contributed financially also. Black Diamond Equipment, I don't even know the gentleman, and he was a big supporter financially. Taxacre Specialties, it's a trucking company out of Mount Pleasant. Don't even know him, and he was a big supporter as well. A lot of people that Jesse worked with down in Pittsburgh, Cenex Explosives, Armstrong Cement and Supply Company, um, GMS Racing Engines. I don't know if you know Greggy Dahl.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was a big supporter, and I've known Greggy since I was a young child, and him and Jesse actually became really good friends. They bonded over motorbike racing and such. Jesse loved Harleys, and
You know, he had to go with that name brand. He couldn't go with the off brand. It had to,
absolutely
he's riding a bike, he's riding a Harley.
right. So also Bates Recycling, which is no relation to Dennis Bates, but they're from Markleysburg, PA. Good friends. Route 21 Transport, also a good friend, is George Bortz, big contributor also. So those are some of the things. Garry Sisson was a sponsor also. Redstone Rehab, J&J Mechanical, and of course we have Bobby Lake Motorsports. So Jesse and Bobby Lake were really close friends, and without Bobby, Jesse probably talked to him almost every day, and it was a big loss for Bobby when Jesse passed as well. So, and them two both love racing. So it's always about racing. So, and of course, Flinner, John Flinner, he helped supported us with some decals, and he did some designing, which is amazing also.
And Josh, you actually, I know one of the things your dad wanted for you was to get your life in order. And he was very proud of the fact that even when he was sick, you were continuing on with your education. And I believe you recently graduated.
Yeah.
From West Virginia University?
No, Penn State.
Sorry, Penn State.
Yeah.
And I should remember that because your dad would say, I'm not sure if it's Penn State or the State Penn, but you know, he's doing pretty good wherever he's at. And you're now a nurse, trying to help people who are sick, and you know, almost in honor of your dad. And that's amazing for you to do that. And Dennis, I see you're there. Can we hear you? I can't read lips. I think he just said, Howie, you're getting a raise. I don't know. Again, I apologize. But, you know, I want you to tell me a story, Jess, or Josh, about your dad. You know, we talked about his love of racing. Okay, I have no idea what that is.
Can you hear me yet?
Okay, we can hear you now.
There we go.
All right. Are you opening a can of pop? Okay, I don't know what that sound was. I thought it was pop, but are you opening a beer?
Nope. I am sitting at the field. I am at the track.
Okay. Getting ready for this weekend. What I asked
Absolutely.
What I asked is I wanted Josh to tell us something about his dad, a story about his dad.
You have a story?
Oh, just tell a story.
Yeah, you just want a plain story?
About so people can get to know who your dad was.
Ooh.
How about he was a good storyteller?
Yeah, I just think also he was really competitive, and I think he took that with us too, with all of our things we did, and he was always family first. I think where there was a lot of times when a lot of other parents and stuff, they would go out and have fun with themselves or go out with their wife or stuff, where he was always what we needed first, and he was always there to support us no matter what.
And that goes to show, you know, he gave up something he loved in racing for something he loved even more, you and your sister.
That would be a story that he didn't care to not. He always reminded you of that, though, that I ruined his racing career a little bit. But
you know, he would say it with some laughter under his voice.
Oh
yeah. And Dennis, are you still here?
I'm here.
Okay. Dennis, how does it feel to know that you've been given the honor of keeping the legacy and honoring such a great man. How do you and your staff feel about going into this big race weekend?
Well, buddy, very excited, and I am very honored, as I have told Jennifer. And my goal is to make this as very special for her as we possibly can and for the family. We are very excited. It's going to be a great weekend. I know Jennifer has a lot of things planned with basket raffles, 50-50s. I know the track itself is going to be doing a lot of fan giveaways. Howie, you'll probably have something to do with that, going around giving some fans some different things, T-shirts, coolers, all kinds of different things. So, yes, we want to focus very heavily on Jess and the Sterbutzel family and in celebration of his life and what all he has done. A lot of people that will be here, I'm sure will remember him. A lot of people that Jennifer has as far as sponsors, we're good friends with him. So, yeah, it's going to be some big shoes, but, we got a great staff here at Latrobe Speedway, and we are all very focused on this race and making sure that everything goes as planned.
And Josh, I want to ask a favor of you, and I hope you can speak for your sister, Danica. I want to give you guys, ask you to, if you'll wave the green flag for the start of the Jesse Sterbutzel Memorial Race.
Yeah. We'll do that.
Josh says he was going to watch YouTube to learn how to do it, so get some practice in.
You think we can make that happen, Dennis?
Absolutely.
All right.
Denny Carson's a very good teacher. We can have Denny give a couple lessons.
All right. And you know what? I don't want people to come here and be depressed. This is a celebration of life of a great man. And I can honestly say Jesse is one of those people, no matter what was going on, he always had a smile. Mm-hmm. And that's what I want everybody to have Saturday night. I want everybody to have a good time. I want everybody to have a smile on their face, because we are not mourning. We are celebrating the life of Jesse Sterbutzel. And I want to thank Josh and his son Josh and his wife Jennifer, Dennis Bates, and on behalf of Latrobe Speedway, we are honored and privileged to host the first ever Jesse Sterbutzel Memorial. And I'm telling you right now, we're having one hell of a party for a hell of a man. And again, I want to thank you everybody for their time, and we'll see you guys this Saturday. First annual Jesse Sterbutzel Memorial, $10,000 to win for the crate late models. The biggest crate late model race in the Northeast is going to be happening at Latrobe Speedway, and you better come smiling, because if you're not, don't bother coming, because we're having a party. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Howie. Thank you, Dennis.
Race fans, that's going to conclude another edition of Ride Along with Howie, sponsored by Joe's Body Shop and Towing and S&B Promotions. And while we have a chance, we'd like to go ahead and thank our track sponsors that include K2 Engineering, proud sponsor of the Crate Late Models, Joe's Body Shop and Towing, proud sponsors of the Pure Talks and the Ride Along podcast, Specialty Metals, proud sponsor of the Modified 4 Cylinders, Marilungo Disposal LLC, proud sponsor of the Strictly Stock 4 Cylinders, Dean Pollock, proud sponsor of the Chargers, Bauer Farms, proud sponsor of the 305 Sprints. Track sponsors include Latrobe Glass and Mirror, General Carbide, Bowman Plumbing, Garry's Auto Sale, Porta-John Rental Company, The Auto Tag Store, RPM, the official parts supplier of Latrobe Speedway, A1 Machine and Performance, Tite Paving, DJS Swag, and GVD Powder Coating. Don't forget, this upcoming Saturday, the first annual Jesse Sterbutzel Memorial, biggest crate late model race in the Northeast, paying $10,000 to win. plus super lates on the card for $2,500 to win, and also pure stocks. Please support those who support racing, and remember, we'll see you this Saturday at the races.